Yo, what's up guys? Chase Revelo here, and this is part 4 of Djokovic versus Zverev full court level practice 2024. I'm so pumped to be here to break this down for you guys. So subscribe to the channel if you're new, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and let's continue. Let's get into it.
I wish I was 8 years old to give me an autograph.
That's a weird thing for this guy to say. I wish I was 8 years old so this guy could give me an autograph. That's wild. That's a crazy thing to say. Hydration, critical. So look, pay attention to Zverev's backhand here. So notice how extended his elbows are as he's turning his hips to hit the ball, right? Look at the length of his arms here. And at contact, let me try to do it better there so I can show you. So as you can see there, his backhand, he keeps his elbows really extended. So one thing that you can kind of start to correct on your backhand is figure out from this point in your backhand to contact, are your arms relatively going to be in the same angle that they are, like right here? Because at this point, his left elbow goes from bent to straight. And then what I'm talking about is from then on, as your hands are going from behind your left hip to going near the ball to make contact, are your elbows going to stay relatively straight or whatever angle you have set? I recommend getting them more straight though, because that's something that if you're looking on how can I kind of tweak one thing on my backhand to make it cleaner, and like you might feel like you're not striking the ball like clean, like just actually striking the ball wise, then look to get longer arms. A lot of times starting with younger athletes, you might even correct the player to start with their racket pointing to the back fence with their elbows completely straight out. So with younger athletes learning to strike the ball better and kind of more correctly, you're going to want to get them to lengthen their arms that way and build those foundational habits. All right. So if you haven't experimented with that, highly recommend doing so. Zverev did a great job keeping that ball low. So Djokovic went cross-court approach shot here. Now, in general, what's the rule, right? I'm going to go cross-court if I can hit a winner. If not, I'm going to go down the line on the approach. So, look, Djokovic could have potentially won that point, but he did kind of break that rule there, right? And also, it's like you're hitting a slice. So he knew he wasn't going to hit a winner on that. But I think the equation here is maybe he's considering, wait, if I go down the line here, Zverev can just run over and then rip a forehand on the run cross-court winner. So potentially, so maybe in his mind, he's like, well, I would rather him just beat me with his backhand, which he did. However, if I'm Djokovic and I'm playing Zverev, what's going to be easier for him to execute? A stationary backhand either down the line or cross court from stationary position, or a forehand on the run? I think I would weigh the movement thing a lot with Zverev. The fact that he's kind of taller, he moves right, he's fast, but he's not one of the fastest, I would say, right? Maybe doesn't have the best footwork on the tour, potentially, right? So I would factor that into the equation. So there, it's just like if you're Djokovic, go down the line, all right? But yeah, that's it for this video, guys. If you have any questions at all, drop them in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. If you're new here, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.